All right, I think we're all here. Karen, you're here? All right, I think we're all here. Karen, you're here?
Yes.
Okay. Haley, it's all you. Do you want me to put the agenda up on the screen?
Sure. And I've pulled mine up already.
You guys are good with that?
We will call the meeting to order. We will note we are doing this by Zoom video conference in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act as modified by Governor Lamont's Executive Order 7B. And as part of that, we should note that materials that we expect to discuss have been posted on the town website, namely the financial reports. And all those who speak should try to please identify themselves before speaking for the benefit of those watching at home or listening without video. Okay. So, first item is public comment. Do we have any members of the public that would like to make a comment? And I would note that someone should monitor the Zoom group chat to see if there's anyone waving their hand electronically, but I don't. There's also not.
Haley, I can barely hear you, bud.
All right, I was just talking about is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
I'll talk like people need to talk to me because I'm hard of hearing. All right, I don't see any members of the public participating or indicating electronically that they desire to comment. Therefore, we'll move on to liaison comments. I see that Mr. Crisco is here. Joe, do you have anything to say tonight?
Just keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you. Nate Case is the liaison for the association. Nate, do you have anything to tell us tonight?
Not at this time, no, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And do we have a Board of Selectmen or Board of Finance liaison present? Hearing none, we will move on to the chairman's report, which I really don't have anything in particular to add other than that the upcoming agenda items. And just to echo Selectman Crisco's remarks, to thank everyone for their hard work and dedication during these trying times. Next item is the COVID-19 update. Chief Rowland.
So we've been continuing to get supplies in from the state and federal government. On top of that, we also ramped up getting whatever supplies we can get our hands on. Also going on with that, we received our Aeroclave machine last week. We had some training. We did some research on it, got some training on it. Joe actually headed that up. And we've been using that at the firehouse quite often, which seems like it's been working really well. We also are in the process of getting some more fluid so we could stock up a little bit in case we get really hit again in the fall, which I hope we don't, but there is a big anticipation that we will. So we're trying to get enough supplies to keep us and get us through what we need to and keep everybody safe. A few weeks ago, we brought the firefighters back for Tuesday nights between truck crew. We had to do a couple in-person meetings and some training, and we have some training going on August 4th. We have truck crew tomorrow night. So the building is getting used. We have to keep up with training and keep up with the equipment. we were on Zoom for quite a while, and what we decided to do for the meeting portion, especially for the older membership, is to, if they continue and they feel more safer doing Zoom and they don't want to be in a room full of people, which let me just be clear that everybody is spaced 6 feet apart. Everybody has to wear a mask. So we're being as safe as we can, but there is that option for the members that still don't feel 100% safe, that they can always call in and Zoom in. So other than that, I think the whole department's doing really well based on this. I mean, I'm sure you guys are going through the same thing. It's, especially with the heat, it's very irritating to wear a mask, especially with all the fire gear on and just around at the firehouse. So everybody is doing a phenomenal job, which is great. And we're just going to keep it up and see where it goes from now. Also, talking about COVID for 1 second, we are in the process of gathering all the bills to submit over to the town, so the town can submit to the state and to the feds. And what it seems like, the feds cover 75% of the costs for supplies and stuff like that, and the state is going to cover, looks like, the other 25%. So it looks like the town is going to be reimbursed from the expenses 100%, which is a good thing for the town. So town's really not going to be out all the costs they are up front, but in the long run, they will get reimbursed 100%. So we're in the process of doing that, and hopefully I'll have that done along with Tina at some point this week. We'll get that submitted over. That's all I have for the COVID report, unless you guys have some questions on it. Okay, moving forward. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hearing none, we'll move on to the current financial statements.
Okay, so the financial statements, what we did is we're in a new year, but let's go back to last year. I'm going to put them up on the screen, so bear with me for 1 second.
These materials are also posted, if you look at the agenda, on the Board of Fire Commissioners website. You can look at those later on if you want to as well.
Yeah, hang on, guys. Okay, can you guys see that? Okay, so moving forward, we're in pretty good shape the way we ended last year with knowing that what we had for COVID, expenses and other things. So we're going to be working with Tony to do some line item transfers to cover some of the accounts that are over. And we should be pretty much, hopefully, be close to being zeroed out. So we did pretty good with our budget last year. So it's good to know that. So you guys have any questions on last year's budget? Okay.
My question, Sean, can you hear me?
Yep.
My question is this posted online? Because I can only find the current fiscal year report online, I think.
I don't, Tina, did you post
It might have been sent to, yeah, it might have been sent too late. I don't think last year's, that's my error, was posted online.
No, actually,
This year's is posted.
I think the problem I have is that it does not appear to match.
Because you're looking at, Sean's showing you last
I'm looking
year.
at last year's budget, Elia, not July 1.
Right, right. The one that's posted online on the town's
Is
web,
FY '21.
it says FY 2020, but it is clearly FY 21. I mean, it looks to me like it's FY 21 numbers.
It is FY '21. It shouldn't say FY '20.
Well, it says right at the top, after year-to-date budget report, it says FY 2020 at 7/13/20. So that needs to be fixed. If you could take care of that tomorrow, that would be helpful.
Sure.
I mean, it's just, it's confusing.
Okay. So the next one up is FY '21. That's this year's budget. You can
It
see.
says FY 2020 at the top.
No, yeah, but see where it says down in the, can you see my cursor?
Yeah, I see that. I see it. I'm just saying, this is what's online. So
Okay.
that's what's confusing. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this is this year's budget, and we just started, so there's really not much to talk about. What you're looking at in the encumbrances are, a lot of those are blanket POs for the year that we usually do. So that's why some of those numbers look high, but we're okay. I don't know why the hydrant line is reading 125,800 encumbrance, and we're over 32,000. I'll have to check on that tomorrow.
Well, that just looks like a mistake somewhere along the line, right?
Yeah, I don't know why that looks like that.
Unless they paid a last fiscal year bill out of this fiscal year and posted it wrong.
Yeah, they shouldn't have. So we'll take a look at that and go from there.
All right, but in terms of the percentage used of the total budget, which says 28.9%, that's because of the blanket purchase orders, the encumbrances. That's not the actual.
Yes.
The actual dollar spent is a much lower number. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions for the chief about the current budget? Recognizing that we're only 20 days into the fiscal year.
Okay. So moving on.
We'll move on to the chief's report.
Okay, so under my report, we got good news. Engine 3 looks like it's going to be complete. I have a committee meeting this week with the committee to go over the truck. Since we can't go down to Florida, they took a whole boatload of photos, and we have to go through the photos, make any remarks we have, and then we're going to have most likely a Zoom meeting or a WebEx meeting. We'll walk around the truck while it's down there. Anything major, they'll take care of down there. Truck will get shipped up here to Greenwood in Massachusetts, where at that point we could take a ride up to Massachusetts, take a look at the truck and see what else needs to happen, equipment mounting or anything else, and anything that needs to be corrected. Greenwood said that they have the shop to be able to do it. So it's a little backwards here, because usually when the truck is completed, we would go out to the factory, look at it, go through it, crawl around, make sure everything's where it needs to be. But in this case, based on COVID, we have to do it this way. So none of us really want to go to Florida, especially based on everything we're hearing in the news. So this is all new to everyone. So hopefully we don't have anything major wrong with the truck. And moving on with that, we are actually in the process of designing Engine 9, because we really need to order that truck sometime this fall. So that truck is probably going to be a 16-month build time. So once we get the spec done, get it out the bid, we're looking at, once we sign a contract, we're looking at roughly 16 months to get it built. So that is the next truck slated to be done.
Sean, let me interrupt you a minute.
Sure.
And do you have a target date for that delivery to Greenwood? And that's
So right now, the truck is ready to be shipped out of Florida. Once we give the green light and once the committee meets, we're going to go through it. And once, if we like it and we think it's acceptable enough and we get it up here, we would give them the green light to release the truck down there and start having it be driven up to Greenwood in Massachusetts.
All right. If this occurs, do you need authorization for out-of-state travel from us?
No, we're not going out of state.
I thought it was-
Oh, to Massachusetts? No, it's part.
I move to authorize the chief and other members of the fire department to travel to Massachusetts for inspection of engine 3 once it's delivered to their representative, the vendor up there. Cover yourself. Is there a second?
Not second.
Who was that? Mike Sufreen?
Yep.
Okay. My motion, Sufreen second. Is there any additional discussion on that motion? Well, I would add that having participated in one inspection during the building of a truck with engine 7 at a somewhat earlier stage of the build process, but the truck was already put together. It's very impressive to see what kind of detail the members of our department go through in terms of the inspection and checking out all the systems before taking delivery, which does typically require out-of-state travel to the factory. That would be ideal because then they meet at the factory, but this is their authorized service representative, and I think the best thing we can do to the COVID-19 circumstance. We don't want to send our people into the thick of the outbreak and then we'll quarantine them. Right.
Okay.
Somebody's number lit up? Nope.
Moving forward, apparatus.
No, we
Oh,
got
I'm
a-
sorry.
Motion, Sean. All commissioners in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Karen's muted. Karen, are you in favor? Give us a thumbs up if you are. You can only see the top of your head. Karen, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes unanimously. We don't need to take a roll call. Okay, what's up next?
The association had the election last Tuesday night, and the officers stayed the same of third lieutenant, which Sean Redmond became third lieutenant, and all the other positions for the line officer spots stayed the same.
Typically, we move to ratify the officers.
Yeah, so I'd rather have you guys ratify it next meeting. Have to swear them in at the next meeting, and we'll take it up in August.
I will have the advantage of being able to put it on the agenda rather than amending the agenda.
Right. Yeah, I can barely hear you coming in muffled. I don't know if it's me or you.
I don't know, maybe just bad internet service here in town. Sean, was your term up, or is this just all the other officers?
No, my term was not up. It's up next year. It was all the other officers.
All right, so we will put the ratification on the agenda for next week's meeting. Okay.
Ed, Yep, Rescue 1 is out, getting fixed from when we had the accident, back in June. So it's at the body shop. It's probably gonna be in the body shop for another 2 weeks. On some more damage, underneath the truck that they have to get parts for and repair. And hopefully we'll have the truck back in service in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks.
Sean, are those repairs coming out of our budget?
They are insurance repairs, so we're gonna most likely, the way it works is we have to pay the deductible, which I believe is $1,000. And we go from there. I'm unsure whether that $1,000 is going to come out of this year's budget or comes out of last year's budget, since the accident happened in the last fiscal year. So that's a question I have for Tony. Once again, I just want to reiterate that the guys are doing a phenomenal job keeping the firehouse clean, and just dealing with the issues coming up. I know different days are tense around the firehouse. Sometimes it's tense just because some people are more nervous than others, and just the whole situation's just it's tough. It's not what we're used to. It's not the way of life, and it's going to be the new norm, like we've been talking about for probably quite a while. And I just want to state that when you put 40 or 50 guys in a room, 40 or 50 guys in an organization, and try to deal with this, it's tough. So really give them a lot of credit for making the best of it and dealing with everything, especially going on calls, motor vehicle accidents, going into people's houses, going into nursing homes. And just want to reiterate that these guys are all volunteer, and they're doing it because they want to do it. So it's you'll learn to understand how important everybody is, especially during a pandemic like this. And we see it quite a bit with different fires and different calls we go on, how everybody works together really well. But in something like this, where it's going on now for I don't know, 4 or 5 months, and it's going to probably go on for at least the next, probably I'm going to say the next year. They're making the best of it. So I appreciate all they do.
It's a trying time for everyone.
Yep.
I would note some good news. I happened to on that score, though. I happened to see the state report on cases at Coachman and Linden, and neither of them have any current cases. I don't know what's going on.
I'm sorry. Any current what?
No current COVID-19 cases at either the Linden or Coachman Square.
It's been a little bit. It's been a little bit since we got any notifications. They really stopped, unless they're getting a whole lot of them. They stopped notifying us, but there is a way we could find out if it continues to go up. So
yeah, I'm looking at a state report that's about a week old. I don't have a similar report for the Willows because I think it's a different category, and I can send this to you. I just said, there is a bit of good news. That's all.
good. And I really don't have anything else to add at this point.
Okay, what's next on the agenda is the activity report.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
How are you? So we have been, even with calls, we've been activating fire alarms more than anything. Last month we went to the old folks home, I believe, once, but we used proper PPE and everything as we're supposed to. We've had a few car accidents here and there, nothing really major. We had a rollover just the other day at the corner of Johnson and Rimmon. Once again, someone thought it was a four-way stop, which it is not. And that's pretty much it.
Is the average responses, can you tell from your data if the average responses in terms of manpower or man or woman power, firefighter response is greater or fewer numbers than would be typical?
You mean for our manpower? Because you went in and out,
Yeah.
I could hardly hear you. We've been about the same.
More people or less people responding to a call at this point? Because of,
There's only been a few less people, but the average people, the people that have always been showing up, are still coming. So it's pretty much the same. The manpower is still the same because it's actually more time once you get back to the firehouse because you have to clean the trucks and everything. So those hours aren't on there, but you still have all the extra hours to clean the trucks, stuff like that when you get back, on top of everything else that you have to deal with.
and that time back in the station is not typically tracked as part of the calls, is it?
Correct, it is not.
And so depending on the nature of the call, it's always been sort of
It varies. Yeah, like car accidents take a little bit more time to get stuff back on the trucks. Same for a structure fire. Activate alarms, there's really nothing to go back on the trucks besides that when we get back, we clean trucks. We have responded to Bethany through mutual aid calls twice. For a structure fire, we went and basically wrote all their hose back up for them because they laid 1,800 feet of LDH for one of their calls.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, besides that, it's the hours. You were not going to see that on the backside because we've never reported it for the hours of when we get back to the firehouse. But it's more time there now because we're still cleaning the trucks and everything now compared to before.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Assistant Chief Bonner? Okay, next up is the Fire Marshal's report, Fire Marshal Joseph Capucci. Hi, Joe.
Okay. Hello, how are you?
Good.
Investigated two fires, Katz's on the 19th and 85 Center Road. I'm not sure what day that was. Katz's is still closed. That whole shopping complex there suffered significant smoke damage. The fire wasn't that large in the office area, but the smoke did the damage throughout there. And on Center Road, they're lucky the fire was in the afternoon and not 2 in the morning. I actually, the smoke detectors are what alerted them. The fire was on the outside of the house burning in. But other than that,
Joe, can you hear me?
yeah.
All right, so I'm getting my internet connection is unstable warning, and I'm just wondering if everyone else can hear you. Everyone else?
Nate can.
All right, Nate can hear.
I hear you, Joe.
All right, so
Mike's in here.
You're breaking up, Elia.
yeah, it's the signal up in my neck of the woods over here. You know.
Okay.
Thanks, Altice. Okay, please continue.
I did 57 inspections, 2 plan reviews. I did my first Zoom public fire education with the kids in the Woodbridge rec, the 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. That was interesting. And I consulted over at Beecher with what's coming up in the future, what they're going to do with the kids in school and stuff. I talked to Vito, as the head custodian there. So I talked to him a lot about what we can and can't do there. But other than that, you know, I'm trying to mix the inspections that are due now with the inspections that we're due in March so we can get caught up, doing the best we can.
All right, appreciate it. Anybody have any questions for the fire marshal? Hearing none. The next item on the agenda is executive session. I don't have anything myself. Chief, do you have anything for executive session?
No.
good, because that requires, that's a technical complication on Zoom. It can be done, but, all right, so past that item, is there any correspondence? Well, and then obviously, we didn't have an executive session, so there's no action on any items heard in executive session. The next item is correspondence. Which we have none. And the next meeting is scheduled for August 17th, which is the day I will be away. So,
You want to leave it as August 17th, and we could always change it. If we have a meeting, usually we cancel the meeting in August.
well, the question is whether today on July 20th, we just post a meeting change to the 24th, a week later, so that it's more than 30 days in advance, so we can have a regular meeting on the 24th, or you can have a meeting without me. Commissioners, how's your availability in August?
Mike Safrine will be around.
Either the 17th or 24th, Mike?
Yeah, I'm around for both days.
Okay. Mike Horton?
I'm around.
Okay. Karen, you hear us?
I'm available, either one.
Okay. I will talk to the chief, and I think it's likely we'll just peg it for a new date a week later, so I can plan on that.
Okay.
My email tomorrow. Okay.
Tina, you want to make that change and get it over for August 24th?
Sure.
Yeah, it's just a meeting date notice, that's all. Okay. Anybody else?
We can have a regular meeting by then?
Not likely. I expect it will still be by Zoom. You know, there are, you know, some of us are at higher risk than others, so continuing the social distancing and remote meetings seems to be the order of the day. Safety first.
Yeah, can I make a comment?
You sure can.
Yes, I would like to personally compliment our officer corps on how they've handled all of the problems that have come up with the COVID and all these kinds of things, being responsive, particularly since I'm one of the ones who's more at risk, as you well know. But I do want to compliment the officer corps on how they've handled things, both internally and externally. And just to put in the record, and I see all these little things about where people complain when we go around trying to help the community out, and when the sirens come up and we're trying to do a birthday recognition or something for somebody who really needs it. The officer corps has been outstanding in getting these things done, both that are both internal and external, that make us a better community.
Thank you, Nate.
Thanks, Nate. I agree wholeheartedly. And we cannot thank the officers and the firefighters and the association as an entity enough. We know that it's that you all put yourselves at risk every day, and that's no small thing. So it is, and I know it's much appreciated by everyone on this commission, and we hope that that's a universal sentiment. Okay, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Horton and a second by Sufrene. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's it. Okay, thanks, everybody.
Take care.